and 47-47 for the winner by majority decision
And still, ladies and gentlemen, the Undisputed African Fighting Podcast champion of the world. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends. This is your weekend recap show, and what a weekend it was. Recapping the card with me, ladies and gentlemen, the reigning defending Undisputed being champion of the world, chief analyst. It's, of course, Brother Gaia.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Fabio Maldonado.
Let's go.
Happening, PG?
Happy to be back, bro. Happy to be back. I hope you're good. Thank you for the weekend. I really do appreciate the efforts you put through. I saw the numbers look really good for the two streams, so I just want to say thank you for that, bro. And also to all the people that tuned in, much love to all of you guys. Appreciate every single one of you.
That's what we do here, bro, and we're glad to have you back, of course, in the saddle. So we're going to start with a little bit of One Fight Night 38.
Yeah.
And this is where we saw the And New. It was basically a weekend of And New here. We had Enkh-Orgil, we had Joshua Van, and of course, like we were talking about just before going live here, Piotr Jan, no mercy. What a performance. But we'll get into that a little bit later, PG. But this is One Fight Night 38. It's the recap show, ladies and gentlemen. As always, PG, we'll start.
At the top of the card, let's go.
Yeah, bro, like we said, Enkh-Orgil is the new bantamweight MMA world champion.
Yeah.
Let's go. The Mongolian Superman. And what can we say here, bro? He was losing every round, arguably. Yeah, leading up to the finish. But, I mean, literally pulling it out of the fire here, bro. Getting the job done for the Mongolian people. So, PG, tell us what you saw here, bro.
No, you're 100% pulling it out of the fire because, yes, he was down every round. And look, I'm going to give him props, bro. The one thing about, and there's something I notice about Mongolian-based fighters in MMA is that they don't stop. You can beat them, you can outscore them, right? But they're just not going to stop moving. They're not going to think about Enkh-Orgil as like a most recent performance. Another fighter from Mongolia that just doesn't stop going, bro. They just keep moving and moving and moving. And something about him, and they weaponize that. I think that's what Enkh-Orgil used in this fight. Fabricio Andrade, I'm not throwing shade on any Brazilian people there because we love Brazilian fighters here at Fighting with Friends. But Brazilian fighters have notoriously, in any of the organizations, showed us that they don't have gas tanks. They do tend to fade. Even Charles do Bronco, even Jose Aldo, all the kings of kings, they have habits of fading as the fight goes on. I don't know what it is or why they perform like that, but they just do that. No excuse though. Fabricio was putting on some mad combinations on him, dropped him with a good elbow in the first round. Like really like stamping his name on the fight, right? He didn't do the body shots as much as I thought he normally does, which is what Fabricio loves to do, right? Kick the body a lot of the times. He wasn't throwing that. And Enkh-Orgil, we knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to grapple. That's obviously his forte. And I think when I got after round 2 or 3, or at least end of round 2, Fabricio was taking some deep breaths. And I think that's not because he was putting a lot of effort. I think Enkh-Orgil was just coming forward a lot and made him back up a lot of the times, whether it was striking, right, which Enkh-Orgil was losing, by the way, but he always initiated some kind of grappling, whether it was a clinch, a shot, or a double leg, making Fabricio work every single round with that. And I think that was really taxing Fabricio every single time. Because as the rounds were progressing, even though Enkh-Orgil lost those rounds, right, you could see him edging closer and closer to something, meaning that he wasn't. It looked like Fabricio was just getting more tired. Even though he was landing more than Enkh-Orgil and putting the hurt on him, he was getting tired significantly. And Enkh-Orgil, on the other hand, just looked like he was just getting a little bit more, I don't want to use the word comfortable or picking up the pace, but it just looked like he had more gas to go. It's like the shots that Fabricio was landing on him didn't have the same pop they did in the first 2 rounds. And then obviously when he shot for that double leg in was it the third or fourth round finish, he shot for a nice double leg. 4th round, took him down and cinched up that rear naked choke, which is mad because you could see the defense from Fabricio was gone. He got taken down in the 3rd round pretty easily, by the way. He got back up, but the takedown was very easy. He didn't have to work for it anymore. Enkh-Orgil. I think that's why Enkh-Orgil started shooting a lot more aggressively in the 4th because he realized this guy can't defend the takedowns anymore. He's gassed. took him down, cinched up with a naked choke, really good fashion, and deserved the win in my opinion, even though he lost every round. But the simple fact that Fabricio couldn't put him away and was slowing down, basically showcased that the fight was used to lose. The fight was Enkh-Orgil's to take there. His opponent was basically done. Deserved the win. I don't know if they're going to get a run back. I probably think they will get a run back because if you look at the list of that fighters in the bantamweight MMA division right now, there isn't really no one that really stands out to go, okay, who's to step up next? Because Fabricio beat the guys that Enkh-Orgil also beat to get to this position. So it's like, you got to run it back then because that's the next best fight for Enkh-Orgil. It's going to be Fabricio Andrade, unless John Lineker decides to do something mad and come back to MMA, which I don't think we're going to get. At this stage, probably going to get Fabricio and Enkh-Orgil number 2 again sometime next year. But the reason why I'm saying that is because the two of them are by far, the best guys in the division. Like nobody else in that top 5 or top 10 like stands out and matches up to them. You know what I'm saying? So I got Fabricio and Enkh-Orgil throwing down again sometime next year because also the fight went to 4 rounds, guys. That shows you the competitive nature between the two of them. You know what I mean? It wasn't a one-punch knockout in the first round or one submission in the first round. It was a 4-round fight. So that for me means that these guys are competitive. That means they can fight again and again and again because they're that close against each other. I'd love to see it. I think the fight deserves a rematch considering that it went 4 rounds. It means that they can go toe-to-toe quite often. So I would love to see that. But for now, the victory, all the media, everything deserves to go to Enkh-Orgil. He should be the most talked about fighter from one championship for the remainder of the year.
Fair play, BJ, and yeah, agreed. You can see what it means to him there by absolute joy and elation. And yeah, just super stoked for him and the Mongolian people. Their first champion in the organization. We can, of course, relate to that, having Dricus be the only South African champion as well. So, yeah, great feeling and love to see it. Shout out to the Mongolian people who pulled up to the chat. I think we had one Mongolian guy in the chat.
Something and
just thank you for all the interaction again and everybody who joined the stream once again. PG, do you have any final thoughts here, bro?
Yeah, I mean, look, this guy could potentially go on a long reign. The only thing that's concerning for Enkh-Orgil is the lack of contenders. That's what happened to Fabricio. You know what I mean? Fighting once a year. It was like, that could happen to Enkh-Orgil as well. And also, lastly, just a big shout out to, like you said, the Mongolian people. Because I saw the president of Mongolia did a massive shout out for Enkh-Orgil. So that just tells you the impact of this victory for that country. So yeah, just well done to him, bro.
Fair play. And yeah, once again, well done to the new Enkh-Orgil. And we'll keep moving then.
Sorry,
go.
I just noticed also on the website that for some reason under the rankings it says Enkh-Orgil world champion number 1 vacant. Don't know why that is. Fabricio is number 2. Find it very strange. So, but the reason why I'm saying that, or I'm seeing that, it's probably just more indicating to we'll probably get a rematch.
Yeah,
that's just what I noticed there.
Yeah, I mean, and he has been such a dominant champion, bro. It's very difficult to argue with an immediate rematch here for Fabricio. So yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Let us know in the comments if you have any thoughts on that, ladies and gentlemen. Please drop a like on the video for us there. We'll keep moving into some strawweight Muay Thai here, BG. Arguably the people's main event of the evening. We saw Aliff get it done against Ramadan Ondash. Got the job done here by unanimous decision, I believe it was. Yeah. And just again, I think you joined us on the stream for this one on Saturday morning. And I'll let you tell the people what you saw. But yeah, fantastic performance by Aliff here, BG. What can you tell us?
Yeah, fun fight. I was all in on this fight. This was the one fight on the fight card that I didn't want to pick just because I was too emotionally invested in the fight. So I couldn't make a clear decision. But my gut was going with Aliff anyway. And yeah, he won the fight. And the reason why I thought he was going to win the fight was because I find him to be the more technical fighter. He's not that much older. I think he's got 2 years older than Ramadan Ondash. So it's not that much actually, right? But he's a more technical fighter. Apart from also having the physical attributes or advantages, which is the taller dude. But he used that range phenomenally. I know on stream, Powhatan was with us and he was saying that I have to admit that Aliff was running away. And I'm still going to disagree with him. I'm going to say, no, he wasn't running away. He fought a fight that was perfect. He won the first 2 rounds. He bagged it really well. And then in the third round, you just need to manage the, what do you call it? Yeah, to manage the aggression that was coming from Ramadan Ondash. And it wasn't like it was like, for example, if you think about how Keith Kulazada fought against Zhao Xi, that was running away. Or Nitikon when he fought against what's his name? Against what's his name? Muhammad brother, Pit Sam, right? And he basically ran away for 2 rounds. 2 rounds, he just ran away and threw no punches. He just grabbed the whole time. Aliff didn't do any of that. Aliff backed up and he was dodging and dodging and tagging and dodging and tagging and knee and then get out of the way and tag. He wasn't just running away. He was managing the aggression, because also Ramadan Ondash, which is what I'm going to mark him down for all the time until he changes this, is his aggression makes him not one-dimensional, but it makes him predictable. You know what he's gonna do. You can see what he's gonna set up, because he only wants to throw the left hook, right? And I just wish that he can change that. I wish if he can be a little bit more volume heavy, because I don't think a lot of guys match his power in this division, Ramadan Ondash. So if he can go more volume heavy and then only throw the power shots in between the offbeat rhythm on the fourth strike, on the fifth strike, dude, you'll knock out a lot of people. You'll knock out a lot. You probably would have finished Aliff if you had to fight like that. But because he was Mike Tyson-esque, peekaboo stance, left hook. It's like you're giving someone like Aliff, who's a very elusive striker, time to read that all the time. And he was just managing it for 3 rounds. He's like, I know what you're gonna do. I know how to tag you. Step off left, poof knee. Step off left, counter left. He had Ramadan Ondash chasing shadows a lot of the time. And I think Ramadan Ondash also missed weight for this fight, so he really needed to get a victory, and he couldn't, because something I've been saying for a while, even for his brother Abdallah Ondash, I said Abdallah Ondash, same thing. I said if they fight more technical based fight, someone that's a little bit more, has more weapons to use, knows how to manage range, use selective where to kick, where not to kick, and when to kick, then they're gonna get outmatched, because they're not that technical. They just got a lot of power. A lot of fucking power they have, but they don't know how to set that up. You know what I'm saying? Even if you look at Abdallah's last fight as well, how many times was he got the KO in the third round, but he was fishing for that left hook so consistently that for basically 2 rounds he couldn't let it land. The opponent was able to just dance away from him every single time. I think that's what we saw in this fight. Aliff also knew that the winner of this fight is going to get Prajanchai next. So he was that close before this. So he knew, if I get a win here with Ramadan Ondash, who's arguably like one of the quickest rising fighters, I'll get a title shot. And he did exactly that. He fought a smooth, elusive, manageable fight, and showcased his level, showcased Aliff's IQ of the performance. Because dude, the way he switched stances, the way that he was in range and out of range, every time Ramadan got him on the ropes and was blasting body shots in him and going for the head, Aliff just kept his hands here and he just kept moving. And that is why none of those shots could land big enough to actually drop Aliff or KO him even, because he was just moving. He just kept moving, and that for me is a sign of a high IQ kind of fighter. Look at the kickboxing strawweight goat of JDB, another fighter that doesn't stand still, that just moves the whole time, and that's why you can't land something big on them every single time, because they're never really in one position for you to catch them. For Aliff to beat him, you need to fight the way Barboza fought him. Barboza fights like Ramadan Ondash, powerful shots, but he boxes, will throw pieces at you, then land something big. He won't just go, wow, just throw all power in every single time. He doesn't fight that way. Pressure, stay on you, and piece you up. And then when you commit to throw something back, then he lands something big on you. That's how Barboza was able to beat Aliff. I thought Ramadan was going to do that, but he didn't. And that's why he lost the fight. He was outgunned, outclassed, outranged, and just outweaponed, bro. And it's not a bad thing losing to Aliff. He's the number 1 guy in the division, so it's not a bad thing to lose to someone like that. So great fight. It was the people's main event. I think it was the most hyped fight of them all. Even though Enkh-Orgil, for me, the victory does have to be put respected on Enkh-Orgil's victory, because he had to come back from a 3-0 situation. So he deserved that win as well. A big shout. But I think Aliff and Ramadan's fight was probably the most explosive one on the card, and I really, really enjoyed the performance from Aliff. Big time. I mean, I was celebrating there. You know, I was losing my mind for this one.
Okay, thanks, brother Gaia. I think that was very nicely summed up there, bro. Do you have anything else you want to add there before we move?
Yeah, these two fighters are going to be the ones to watch. Look, I don't know if there's anyone older than who's it now? I think I think after Prajan Chai, who's now 31, in the strawweight division, after him, if I exclude the Al Jamari brothers, because they also now hitting 30 and they're not really going to get anywhere. The oldest fighter after that is Barboza. He's 24, 25. So basically, what I'm saying is Aliff and Ramadan and Abdallah is a little bit heavier. These are the guys we're going to watch. These are future champions right here. These are the guys that's going to be the top dogs of this division. And that makes me very excited to watch strawweight Muay Thai.
Here we go. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Future champs in Ramadan, Ondash, and Aliff. But all right then, bro. We're going to go to one of two submission grappling fights that were on this card. This was for the flyweight submission grappling world championship. Diogo Reis getting the job done against Daiki Yonekura to become the flyweight submission grappling champion of the world. Yeah, but I mean, there's not really too much that I can say here. I did watch the fight, but there's not really too much that I can say because I'm not really a jiu-jitsu expert. But what I want to talk about is the uproar that's been going on, especially on X regarding the submission grappling. Like, fair enough, there were two on a card that was very thin. It was two submission grappling, so you can understand the uproar from the fans. But I just want to get your thoughts on it, PG. In terms of submission grappling, do you think it has a place in one championship? What are your thoughts here, bro?
Sorry, my washing machine is quite loud.
That's fine. And then we'll get to the fight in a bit. But maybe you can just give us your thoughts about submission grappling and if it has a place in one championship.
Yeah, I personally, at this stage, I think it should be scrapped. And the reason why I think so is it's not a big discipline in Asia, especially Southeast Asia. It's not a discipline people really care about. We don't have any Thai jiu-jitsu specialists, any Myanmar jiu-jitsu specialists, any Cambodia, Laos, none of them. You know what I mean? It's all just Brazil, Japan, America. You know what I'm saying? So it's like no one really gives a fuck. Sorry to say one championship, but no one gives a fuck about this sport. And also, this fight was a little bit early. I watched this fight. I don't know how Diego Reis actually won it. I thought it was very even. If anything, Daiki had more attempted catches. But yeah, I think to add to why it should be scrapped, 80, apart from what I just mentioned now, UFC already took your blueprint and they remodeled it for their invitationals. And guess what? They've got all the biggest champions there. You know what I mean? Your biggest champions don't even fight in the sport anymore. They fight in MMA. So in my opinion, scrap it, get rid of it. You don't have any superstars to carry this discipline in your organization. You don't need all the different disciplines anymore. You've already made a big brand when you did do it. Now people are tuning in for your Muay Thai and kickboxing fights more than anything. So even more than your MMA fights, and you still got some good MMA fighters on your roster, I would say scrap this one. You're wasting money on a discipline that doesn't need to be supported. I'm pretty sure if you watch the analytics of one championship, I'm sure they're going to see that the jiu-jitsu doesn't garner any support as much as the other disciplines do. So I would say, and it's probably costing them a lot of money to keep these kind of athletes on their roster. So I would say let's scale down the roster of fighters. Let's move out from this jiu-jitsu, in my opinion, because now UFC already took the blueprint and they've actually doing it a little bit better. So I would say let's get rid of it, because now you're competing against an organization that you're already losing to. Let's get rid of it. Don't do that. Become the biggest kickboxing Muay Thai promotion ever. Let's do that rather. Maybe still keep the MMA guys there, but the jiu-jitsu ones is not needed. I mean, you got these two young guys. It's not their fault that they're fighting in a promotion that's not supporting this discipline. Idiot. You know what I mean? They will do so much better if they actually did the UFC Invitational or CJI instead. We'll go back to ADCC. It's the biggest one of them all. So why don't you just go continue to do that rather? You know what I'm saying? One championship is not really going to get these guys a lot of support as much as they think they're going to, as opposed to UFC. I mean, Mikey Messi went over. That's really a big sign for any jiu-jitsu guys. And then Kedro Tolo and Taira Tolo have moved on. You know what I'm saying? So it's like let's start looking at the signs here and make proper decisions. Even though what's the name? The other fight we had on this fight card, the other jiu-jitsu fight ended in submission, which wasn't too bad, but those are two old guys. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's not going to mean anything. They already had titles in their careers. It means absolutely fuck all at this point. So yeah, I think get rid of it. Get rid of it. It's going to be better if they did that, because then also you can spend more proper attention to fighters that are supported by the fan bases. You know what I'm saying? We can actually hone in on better divisions now for other what's the name disciplines. I think that's what
Fair play, VG. Yeah, no, I'm definitely inclined to agree there, bro. Anybody can watch the live stream and just see that I wasn't happy watching the fights, bro. Just put it like that, just to put it mildly. And again, it's not throwing shade on jiu-jitsu or anything. It's just that, and I'm sure that any honest jiu-jitsu expert would agree that if you're not like in tune with the finer aspects of the sport, it's not going to be entertaining as a neutral man, as like a casual fan just to watch. And yeah, but let us know in the comments. Maybe you have a different thought here. We'd love to hear from any jiu-jitsu practitioners. That would be great. PG, any final thoughts from you on the match or the fight? Yeah,
I'd say, look, I like watching jiu-jitsu. But I like watching it in MMA. You know what I mean? I enjoy watching it in MMA. I don't know if I can enjoy watching jiu-jitsu only. And that's mad because I really enjoy grappling, but I prefer it in MMA because then there's like, you can't stall. You know what I mean? You can jiu-jitsu somebody, but you can't stall anything because in MMA there's going to be other weapons that you have to think about that's going to affect the way that you grapple, which is a whole different dynamic to grappling completely. You know what I mean? Which I prefer. I think for the jiu-jitsu guys, if they really want to be successful and have big support by it, apart from the jiu-jitsu tournaments themselves, karate combat, and UFC invitationals, guys, like those are the ones where you're actually going to be more supported outside of ADCC.
fair. I think it was DSPV was telling us that there was a delay at the karate combat event.
Yes.
It was delayed because they didn't pay their staff. So
is that the reason?
Yeah, the workers refused to work or something like that. But it was a pay related query, bro.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because the karate combat was doing really well, and then they got this new owner, some Islam-looking guy. I forget his name now, but not Islam as in like a fighter, as in like Islamic man. And he was throwing a lot of shade on one championship when he announced that he's takeover of karate combat because he wanted to grab a lot of fighters from one championship, and obviously Chateau was like, nope, these fighters are staying here. And then he started throwing shade on one championship a lot. I watched that video. He was on an interview with Michael Bisping, and it was just dropping shade and just saying ugly stuff about one championship. But to see this come out of it now, and I'm like, okay, you took a lot of cack. That's why this is happening, bro. Now to just focus on your own house. Don't talk about other people's houses. Talk about your own house, and then let's see how that works from there. Now he got his shit handed to him. Happens.
Yeah, and there was also because the event did go off afterwards. And there was a terrible refereeing decision there as well. Where fight was clearly rocked. I don't remember who exactly, but I saw this on X. Fighter clearly rocked, and the ref basically just like he wasn't ready to fight again. He could have called the fight off, but the ref was like, "Nah, I keep fighting," and then just like obviously finished him. Terrible to see. So karate combat making headlines for all the wrong reasons there. If you guys have any thoughts on that, because I know some of our subscribers do watch karate combat, so we'd be very interested to hear your thoughts. But we digress, ladies and gentlemen. PG, let us get back to business here. We saw the Queen return, Phetjeeja.
Finally,
she got the job done against Martina Dominczak. She did look very locked in Martina as she was coming out, but yeah, it was clear very early that there was a skill deficit here, and yeah, it did show. So yeah, BG, what can you tell us here, bro?
Yeah, mismatch. To be honest with you, AD, when I saw the matchmaking of this fight, I said this is just a formality. It's just to get Phetjeeja into that number one contender spot, like an undeniable spot to take on the actual queen of Alicia, Helen Rodriguez. But I like Martina Dominczak. When she was still Kazinska as well, I was like, no, she's of the non-champions. I'd say she's definitely top one, top two. Like she can fight for a title outside of Rodriguez and Phetjeeja because she beats everybody else. She's got a high volume. She's taller than all the other atomweight athletes, right? But I always felt that she was just underpowered, if you will, against Phetjeeja and Rodriguez. I always felt if she's gonna fight against the two of them, they're gonna smoke her. Because I've watched enough of Dominczak's fights before, and I said to myself, she's got a high volume game, really high volume game, but it's a big but. She doesn't have the durability and the power, and even the shot selection of Phetjeeja and Rodriguez. And you could see it very early in this fight. You just spoke about something now about the refereeing of of karate combat. Olivier Costa did the same thing in this fight as well. After the second knockdown, I would not have counted the 8 count on Dominczak. You saw her face. She was looking at the ref, basically pleading with him with her eyes, like, please don't do this. Like, please don't make me go back out there. And he still gave her 8 count, like, going. And she didn't even put her hands up, which is what I said in our 2 fight cards ago when I did a recap. I was like, why is the referees not waiting for fighters to put their hands up or asking them to put their hands up? You can count till 8, which is fine, right? But if the fighter is not giving you the signal to say, I'm ready to go, don't fucking let them fight. They're not ready to go. And both before the third knockdown, she didn't put her hands up. Dominczak didn't put her hands up. She just looked at him like this, like my bro, I can't even put my hands up. And he just let her go out there again. And I was like, this woman's going to sleep her, bro. The right high kick for the third knockdown put her away. And it wasn't even, and she blocked the right high kick, by the way, and she was down anyway. You know what I mean? That's because she had nothing left. There was no defense, bro. She didn't have to go fight after the second knockdown. I would have given it there. I would have called it there already. Protection, she's basically looking dazed here. She can't put her hands up. She's done. For Phetjeeja, she did what I thought she was going to do anyway. She was going to outbox her, be too strong. My preview was similar style of weapons, but Phetjeeja has more venom to it. Excuse the pun. I know she trains with Team Venom right now. But she just fucking went in there and, dude, every shot she landed on Martina didn't respond well to it. It just didn't. And I didn't believe that any of the styles, any of the weapons that Martina was going to throw was going to put her away. It just wasn't. I think the only fighter that can really put Phetjeeja away is Rodriguez. That's the only one right now. I know we have Jackie Buntan as well, but I think Buntan is fighting. Is it Atomweight Kickboxing? Strawweight Kickboxing. Who did she fight against? Yeah, strawweight, so it's a weight above. But they're too big. So in Atomweight, there's just nobody. Maybe Vero, but they need to go through more before they could get there. I saw Kana Marimoto was there at the fight card as well. I don't know why she was there. I think Marimoto, she beat Stamp, right? So she could fight Phetjeeja again for the kickboxing title. We could see a rematch there. But anyway, Phetjeeja's gonna fight Muay Thai again, and she has to fight against Rodriguez. Don't give her Kani Marimoto. Don't give her anybody else. It's gonna be an absolute waste to let her fight against Rodriguez next. For Martina, if she wants to fight again, give her Kani Marimoto, maybe kickboxing, and we can see what happens there. But yeah, this fight was a mismatch. Overpowered Phetjeeja, too strong, too big, fast, just way too ahead. 200 odd fights, bruh. At 24 years old, dude, I don't think Martina is ever gonna match her in this lifetime. And there's no shade to Martina, because Martina's a good fighter. But Phetjeeja's just light years ahead of you right now. So well done to the queen.
Fair assessment there, BG. Fair assessment. And yeah, I think you gotta go with the Alicia Linda Rodriguez fight for sure. Yeah, I think you covered all the bases there, bro. Do you have anything you want to add?
No, not much, man. Because it's, again, I thought that the fight for Phetjeeja after beating Marimoto was going to be Rodriguez. So when I saw this fight, I was like,
why?
For what? What must Phetjeeja prove? She's already the champion. What must she prove? She doesn't prove anything. She's the current champion. You know what I mean? Don't let her prove another. Let her fight someone that, like, I would have gone Martina versus Vero instead. That would have been a good fight. Instead of Vero like taking on Tang, I would have gone Martina versus Vero, number one contender spot. The winner gets the winner of Phetjeeja and Rodriguez. Now you make a fight against Phetjeeja. It's just, to me, it felt like a tune-up fight for Phetjeeja, in my opinion. That's why I was like, nah. But anyway, you won championship, book it. Champion versus champion next. I want to see that stuff early. Because also Phetjeeja took no damage in the last 2 fights, like 0 damage. And Rodriguez also had first round or 3 round knockouts, taking 0 damage as well. Let them fight, please. Late January or early Feb.
Yeah, for sure. I think the only thing that would be jeopardizing that is that Rodriguez has indicated a willingness to go into MMA. So she has been training a lot for MMA. So that might jeopardize the fight. But yeah, hopefully we can. Why wouldn't she take that fight before stepping into MMA? You know what I mean? Because that has the potential to be a classic, bro. You know what I mean? She came out in the media talking about this is like the women's version of like Rodtang Super Leg, bro. That's kind of like Rodtang Takeru, like that kind of level, man. Yes. So take that fight and then go into MMA, I would say, Alicia. Yeah. But again, you know where the comment section is, ladies and gentlemen. PG, we're gonna go to the legends. Marcelo Garcia and Lachlan Giles. Lachlan Giles getting the job done by submission there. He was really defending the whole fight before cinching up. What was it, the heel hook?
Yes, but a very specific type of heel, like a reworked heel look that I've never seen before. Brilliant stuff, by the way.
Yeah, so tell us more about it there, bro.
Yeah, look, I will say in the beginning of the fight, Lachlan Giles attempted it. I'm not sure if you remember. It was like in the first minute or 2 minutes, he did this what they call K guard, and it's a new guard that they use in jiu-jitsu now. It's a new developed guard, and it's almost like the way that he positions his hips. It's a very specific type. It's almost like you're fishing for an armbar from bottom, but you're not actually. You just holding the guard like that. And then what he did was he took Garcia's right leg and put it in between his shoulder and ear, and like locked it up like that, and then put his right leg over the left leg on the hip, then Lachlan Giles' left leg on the other side of the hip of Marcelo Garcia, and then locked it up like that. So basically, Garcia couldn't pull out his right leg, it was stuck in there, and then he eventually got out of it. Right, he eventually got out of it as the fight went on, and then later in the round he did it again, and then once he got that lock, Garcia tried to transition away from it, and that gave Lachlan Giles the opportunity to transition from that position into a proper heel look, and then turned around and had it in there and locked it up. And it was beautiful, bro, because he was pushing for that throughout the fight the whole time. And I thought, look at this fight compared to the Baby Shark fight, for example, and Taiki. That was a lot of rolling and tumbling, but couldn't really get anywhere. And these two guys, you could see the level of experience. Both of them were fishing for submissions consistently, but they were just, that was just a good display of high level of grappling, because they were privy to what to do and how to get away from it. But then also Lachlan Giles being the slightly younger fighter, not that much younger, slightly younger, looked like he had a little bit more in the tank to go, and I think that's probably why he cinched up that heel look at the end there. Beautiful heel look again, wonderful to watch. But I would love to watch this on a different fight card or a different promotion instead. You know what I mean, like a jiu-jitsu tournament only. I'd love to watch that, but on a fight card like this, I'm not too hyped on it. But again, for the duration of this fight, which I think was like 8 to 9 minutes long, this was entertaining for me. I really enjoyed watching this one because these guys weren't stalemating each other. There was like always trying to get to the next move. Whereas like Taiki and Baby Shark's one, it was almost like, I don't know, they were stalemating each other, and it just couldn't go anywhere. And yeah, it was a little bit boring. But this one wasn't. This one was entertaining. Every moment of it, I didn't have to feel the need to want to fast forward. I actually felt like I need to sit down and pay attention to what these guys are doing, and because Lachlan Giles was doing stuff that I've never seen in grappling before. He was doing different types of techniques, different types of guard techniques, and I was like, oh, this is very new to me. So that I found extremely impressive, and yeah, well done to the win. Again, not much stock I'm going to put into it just because, you know what I mean? What are they going to do here? Is there a division for them? You know what I mean? Is there going to be a champion in this division? Are we going to see one? Ty don't even have the title anymore. They moved on. And they're old. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I don't want to watch a 40-year-old guy defend titles. Fight other 40-year-old guys. So it's like, yeah. let's move on from it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well done for the win. Good fan service. Appreciate that. But I mean, as a more deep enthusiast fight fan, I don't want to watch that. I want to watch like top competition that's competing for titles, defending titles. That's what I want to see. I don't want to see old people fight.
5 or 10 I don't even care about this fight, to be honest with you. Do you want to watch that?
Yeah.
Speaking of 40-year-olds, now we had another 40-year-old in the bantamweight division come up against Dmitry Kovtun. Shinji Suzuki. Yeah, maybe this will be his final fight. Again, the man 40. And yeah, Dmitry Kovtun getting the job done by unanimous decision here, brother Gaia.
Yeah, Dmitry Kovtun. Look, it was expected to win. That's why he was on the parlay for us, because I expected him to win. This was pretty much a lock for me. Suzuki is not the same fighter he was, 5-10 years ago. Dmitry Kovtun, on the other hand, I expected him to finish the fight, which then gives props to Shinji. It also shows you that Dmitry Kovtun isn't also the same fighter he was maybe 2-3 years ago getting finishes. He's also been KO'd over the last year a few times. So he kind of needed to get something like a bit of a layup to get him back into that field. And you could see this fight, he was a little bit hesitant in some of the exchanges. But what he did really well for me in this fight was the elbow attacks, right? He would throw a right hook from southpaw over the top. That would be a right hook just to sort of distract Shinji to fish out something from him to make him overextend. When he would overextend, you'll just see Kovtun coming with the elbow, bang, stops him. Or he'll go with a left straight, bang, stops him. Inside low kicks. I think Shinji's best weapon throughout the fight was his low kicks, which was really good actually. It was really making Kovtun rethink and get aggressive because he couldn't just take his time anymore because he was getting attacked in the legs a lot. And so it made him fight a little bit faster. Every round he won, in my opinion. He had the pace, the volume on every single round. And again, like I said, the feint, that fake right hook over the top was his setup shot a lot of the times. It set up the left hook to the body, it set up the elbow counter, it set up also the left straight because of that right overhand that he would throw over Shinji's left hand. That was the story of the fight for 3 rounds. Nothing changed for me. I just thought maybe that Kovtun could get a finish. I thought he was able to, but he didn't. And that just shows you that Shinji, is a tough cookie. But for Kovtun, big win, well done, back in the win column. I still don't put a lot of stock in it because this is the kind of fight he should have ended. And also, if you think about the bantamweight Muay Thai landscape at the moment, I can't see Kovtun getting back into that top 10 again. I just can't. I rate him as a fighter that's just outside top 10, or maybe he could be a good fighter to, what do they call them? The gatekeepers for young prospects. Could put him in that kind of situation. Like, for example, a fighter he could be fighting next could be a John Wayne Noy, for example. Tyson Harrison, you know what I mean? You could be fighting against maybe, what's his name? Vagon. Otis Vagon. He somehow still makes the weight class, which is mad. It's mind-blowing that he makes the weight class. You see, people like that who lost last week, not last week, week before. Hindu Irving. Who did he fight? And he lost. But anyway, Hindu Irving's another bantamweight prospect that could, get in there, in my opinion. He fought against Kong Klai. So those are the kind of fighters I think Kovtun's going to be competing against indefinitely. I don't think he competes against the top 10 from here on out. They're all going to smoke him, especially with a performance like that. It was a little bit underwhelming. Good to see him back, but I just had more expectation out of him. I felt that he could be a little bit better than that because the bantamweight are killers. It's just killers, fortunately for him.
Give thanks, brother Gaia. Opening the card, we had Jeremy Miado against Azvazbek Kholmirzaev. Azvazbek getting the job done in the second round by TKO here. What can you tell us, bro?
Big fight for Azvazbek Kholmirzaev because before this fight, he was fighting against guys who were arguably equal to him or slightly lower than him in terms of quality. Like, for example, the last fight he fought against our guy, Willie van Rooyen, who's a very good fighter, a good champion out of EFC, but also not that much experience. Like, then you get Jeremy Miado. I think also the biggest experience fighter that Kholmirzaev fought against before Willie van Rooyen was the other Japanese fighter, not Wakamatsu, he's the champion. Get his name now. Anyway, that was a big fight for him and he won that fight. Jeremy Miado is a consistent top 5 contender. Like, he stays in that category. And when the fight started, you could see that it was a level because he cracked all of Kholmirzaev, big, dropped him, bro. Overhand right, bang, put his ass down. And you could see, right, he's going to be tested here. And then it was like that, right? It was a good test for him. The grappling exchanges were quite back and forth as well in that first round. But then Kholmirzaev showcased his talent, being the beast that he is. He's what do you call it? The Dagestani wrestling style. Oh, sorry about that. The wrestling style was high level. He was chain wrestling a lot, getting into mount, tossing him, tripping him, landing some big elbows, good ground and pound. That was the first round. He did it again in the second round. And I think it was the second round TKO, wasn't it? Or was it the third round TKO?
Second
round. Second round started, and you could see Kholmirzaev knew that he had the upper hand. All that spinning back kicks to the body was really helping him a lot. And then when he eventually got the trip and took him down, he got mount pretty early. And I was like, oh, the fight's going to end here. Ground and pound. Definitely could have stopped the fight earlier, in my opinion, because Miado wasn't defending himself clearly.
Yeah.
He had his hands the whole time. And I thought he wasn't scooting to get anywhere. He just laid there and just took the shots. And I was like, okay, ref. And what's his name? Levek Kost probably let that ground and pound go on for a solid minute and a half. I was like, bro, this man is beaten. Why are you not getting on top of them? And then the referee still, when he did stop the fight, he stood there and did you see that? He was still like, I don't know, like, what can I say? What can you say, bro? You could
Idiot.
stop the fight all 30 seconds earlier than that. You could stop the fight all 30 seconds earlier than that, and he didn't. So, yeah, big win for Kholmirzaev. Taking out a top 5 contender. In my opinion, give this boy a title shot because Ryoya Wakamatsu is smoking everybody. And if you don't give him a title shot, give him Adriano Moraes, please, because he deserves a title shot. In my opinion, you're giving Kholmirzaev, you're giving Ryoya Wakamatsu inflated Joshua Pacquiao. Why, bruh? Why was that even the fight for Ryoya Wakamatsu? Here's a contender on screen right now. He went through a 6-fight win streak. Let's get this kid a championship fight, please.
Let's go, PG. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section, ladies and gentlemen. But that is one fight night 38, bro. It was a short card. Quite a few bouts got cancelled, and I feel like we always have to talk about this after every one championship pay-per-view or big fight night card or whatever it might be. But just give us some final thoughts on the card in general and maybe a post-fight rating before we go to the UFC, bro.
Sure, bro. You're right to say in what you're saying. We can't. Sucks that we talk about the bad things at the end of the fight card because that's the reality we're facing. I can't think of one fight card in 2025 or one championship where we haven't had weight misses, fights being pulled, injuries on the last moment, late replacements the day before that, 24-hour opponent changes. That's been every fucking fight card for one championship this year. Every fight card. So for me, that's a problem. That's a big problem, and that needs to change. They need to do something about this. Either you scrap hydration tests or something has to change, bruh. Like something really has to change here because we can't keep talking about this every single time. 7-fight fight card, big championship win. I think there was 2 champions announced in the fight card. Baby Shark got a title. Enkh-Orgil coming back from the depths of despair and getting the title. He never deserved that. Aliff putting on a masterclass performance. Phetjeeja just shutting out Martina as well. I'll give the fight card a proper 6, and that's the lowest I'll go. The lowest I've ever gone for a one championship fight card. It's only because short fight card didn't need the jiu-jitsu fights on there, and also Phetjeeja didn't need to fight against Martina, in my opinion. So that's why I'm gonna go with 6.
Fair play, bro. I think it's a generous score though. I'm gonna go with a 5 here, bro. Of course, very gutted with the shadow fight being pulled. I feel like he was a big part of what put this fight card together. I think the Aliff versus Ondash fight lived up to expectations. It was a high-level encounter. Enkh-Orgil and New, gotta love it. But we just can't keep. The bar can't be this low, bro. For us to keep giving this good fight scores when we have fights being pulled, all the stupid shit happening, man. So I think I'm gonna go with a 5, and but I'm gonna start holding one championship to more account here because, like you said, that's completely unacceptable.
It's unacceptable, and it's a Prime Video card. It wasn't a fucking Friday Fights YouTube shit. It was a Prime Video card. These are contracted fighters.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? You scheduled you scheduled Shadow and Muhammad Yonekura 3 times already, and all 3 of it failed. One was an eye poke, the other 2 was a weight miss and an injury. So it's like, are we ever gonna get this fight? And Muhammad Yonekura is not even top 5. He's number 10 on the ranking list. So it's like, Shadow's going for a title, my bro. He doesn't have to rematch his Brian anymore. He can go for someone else now. You know what I'm saying? He can wait every single time. Let's start being a bit more strict here, Chowdhury, please.
Like you said, it's a Prime Video card, and like you can imagine as a potential investor, hearing about all these things every time. The biggest fights on your card. Look how Rodtang and Nongo got pulled from 1173, bro. Rodtang, your biggest superstar, arguably on the card, isn't fighting at your biggest pay-per-view of the year.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And that's unforgivable, bro.
Yeah.
So a lot. I mean, it's again. I just feel like I'm actually getting tired of talking about how poorly the organization run because it has so much potential to be great.
It does.
Stupid shit like this. That
and then also, I think it was like 4 days later, or 3 or 4 days later after Rodtang's weight miss and all that madness. He was playing for the Thailand national team, scoring goals. Do you see that?
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck, bruh? But okay, he wasn't injured. He just wasn't medically clear because he couldn't recover in time for the fight. So he obviously had a bad weight cut. He didn't miss weight or anything, but I mean, like something needs to change here. Something needs to change for the organization for them to be a little bit more respected. Because look, quite frank, the One Championship is still a laughing stock amongst MMA, amongst combat sports communities. People still think of it as a shitty promotion, and yeah, that needs to be changed, in my opinion. It's only respected in Asia.
Yeah, no, 100%, 100%. Just something unrelated, bro. I don't know if you've been talking to DSBV recently, but he actually told me there's gonna be, here it is. There's a guy from the Bookie Beatdown Discord who's competing on the next Friday fights card, bro. Sear, A.K.A. Jackuruba.
Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, this guy.
Mm.
He's competing on the One Friday Fights card next week.
That's this weekend.
Yeah.
That's Friday.
Yeah. So just a shout out once again to the Bookie Beatdown Discord, bro. That's big news. Yeah.
Big fight news against. Shiya Ishiguro is fucking good, bro. He's good.
Well, let's go, Jackuruba. We'll put a little something on you for the card. But anyway, bro, we do have some UFC to get to and quite a bit to unpack here. So without any further ado, we'll go to UFC 323, where Petr Yan is and new bantamweight champion of the world. What a performance, bro!
Yo, I'm still shocked. Not shocked as in like I doubted Petr Yan. Sorry, Eddie, I know I'm going into it now.
Go.
It's just I was elated for it because I wanted him to win, even though I picked Merab because I was like, Merab is unbeatable. That wrestling is something that people haven't been able to deal with. But Petr Yan matched Merab every level of the fight and took it further. Right? He defended. Merab landed 2 of 29 takedowns attempts? Only 2? Where do you ever see that in the Merab fight? Where he doesn't get any takedowns, where he barely is unsuccessful with it. And every time he did get a takedown, Petr Yan jumps back up, reverses, takes him down, even spiked him, bro. Wow. I was like, bro, Petr Yan just matched him. And also, one thing that's big for Petr Yan in this fight, dude, he looked significantly bigger. I don't know what was different, but he looked significantly fuller, bigger, stronger than Merab. The fact that he was physically stronger as well. And then the biggest takeaway was that his gas tank was better. He didn't get tired. He was matching the machine. You know what I mean? He was like, I'm just as intense as you are in terms of stamina, bro. I think that's because they fought at Petr Yan's pace. He forced the fight at his pace. That's why he wasn't getting tired. Remember the first fight, he was just getting taken down, and he was like, you could see the visible exhaustion on Petr Yan's face. In this fight, he was like, no, my friend, you fight in my pace now. Watch how I'm gonna make you tired. The fact that he was out jabbing him, the boxing combination. Oh, you sick! The boxing combinations, bro. Like there was a 4-piece that he threw, and he hit the body with it. And Merab was just, nah. Petr Yan just took it to him, took him to the cleaners. Every single body shot that he threw, whether it was a left kick or left hook, Merab just didn't do well. And he's a game opponent, right? He was fighting back. He was boxing back. You could see he was boxing back. Landed some good stuff as well. But Petr Yan was just too good, too strong. God was there. At peekaboo stance, switching stances on him the whole time, getting some outside trips. Dude, he just fought a masterful fight. And he could have finished Merab most of the times, but I think he didn't have to. In my opinion, I gave him 4 rounds to 1. I don't know what the judges' scorecards was. I remember seeing one judge also giving it 4-1. One judge also gave it 3-2. But I thought after round 1, I actually gave the first 4 rounds to Petr Yan. No. Rounds 1, 2, 4, and 5 was I gave to Petr Yan. Round 3 I gave to Merab. But I saw judges who did give him 4-1 was round 1 to Merab, and then the rest of the rounds were all just Petr Yan. And I can also see that because it's very difficult for me to. I didn't watch the fight back, but I only watched it once. I didn't rewatch it before the recording. But if I remember correctly, I really did struggle to give Merab a round. I was like, yo, where is he? Which round did he actually dominate? And maybe it was the one where he got the 2 takedowns, which was round 3, by the way. But apart from that, I was like, where did he win the fight? At what avenue? Which point did he dominate this fight? None. And I saw the footage of Merab in the ambulance at the end of the when he was taken away to hospital. The man's face was like this, like his eyes were closed. It was swollen. Nose was all kinds of fucked up. I think Petr Yan just beat him in a way that I think it put him back on notice. Like people can realize now why he's such a fucking dog. And I think the biggest thing for all fans on for this fight card was for this fight in particular was Merab exposed here? Is this a way to beat him? You know what I'm saying? Is this the style to beat someone like Merab? Because to be honest with you, nobody fights like Petr Yan in this division. Let's be real here. Like nobody fights like him. You know, not Corey Sandhagen, who I think is really high level, not Umar Nurmagomedov, right? Not Mario Batista. Who else is there? Not Sugar Sean. Like no one fights like Merab's, like Petr Yan style. And Petr Yan was able to outstrike Merab and then also out wrestle him. By the way, that is a big thing to do, dude. A big thing. And the biggest key is that he kept Merab on the back foot. Remember what DC always says. Joe Rogan also says it as well. You put wrestlers on the back foot, you can beat them because now they can't set up their takedowns. They're gonna panic takedown. It's gonna be telegraphed now, and then there's no juice on the takedown. They're on the back foot. So if you do that the whole time, you got them. You basically you tapping your prey now, and they can't really fight the way they want to. That's what Petr Yan did in this fight. Watch it back. Every round he was backing up Merab, and when Merab would pressure on him, he would just reverse. He would just circle out and get back into the geography. Put Merab back on the back foot. He did that every single time, and I was like, he never gave up space. Every time Merab would reset, where they would restart the round, Petr Yan would just run up to him, back him up immediately, and like right back into the space. Now you're back in my range. Every single time. And I think that's what led to his victory, because basically it forced Merab to fight at Petr Yan's angles, at his pace, at his decisions, at his dictation. Well done to Petr Yan. Big win, masterful performance. I think he can go on a multi-run. I can see him going on a big run, a big title defense again. And I like what he also said, the respect to Ray Longo and the team. He was like, no, I fought this team 4 times
you think
now.
He gives a shit if he...
You know what I mean? And that's the team that pushed Merab to, pushed Petr Yan to this level of fighting. Let's be honest, before losing to Merab the way that he did, right? He was beating everybody, and he wasn't concerned about any takedowns. Then Aljamain Sterling took him down in the second fight and beat him by backpacking him for 3 to 5 rounds, right? For 4 rounds of that fight. So he realized, all right, I need to learn how to fucking grapple. I need to learn how to be masterful at this. And you could see the evolution of Petr Yan's game in this fight. He's going to be difficult for guys to beat, because before this, we were always sitting there thinking, who's going to beat Merab? Who's going to beat this guy? We were all saying he must go fight against Pantoja. Maybe even go up to featherweight. Like, who's going to beat this guy? And then Petr Yan comes in there and puts in a performance like that, which is a unique performance. He didn't Dagestan Merab. He didn't, you know what I mean, do the Islam or Nurmagomedov wrestling to beat him. He didn't do any of that nature. Petr Yan fought his standard Muay Thai style with his type of grappling, which is very good. I'm impressed. I can't find any other descriptive words to describe how wonderful Petr Yan's performance really was. I also like that when I asked him in the press conference what he thinks about Sugar Sean O'Malley, will he give him a shot after he beats who's Sugar Sean fighting next?
Song Yadong.
If he beats Song Yadong, would you give him would you fight him next? And he just laughed and he was like, who is this kid? You know what I mean? And if you give him to him, I will fuck him up as well. And I do think that Petr Yan will beat him again. Again. It will be official this time. He's going to go on a big title run here, guys. And I think if Merab fights him again, I think he beats Merab again. Because it's not because he didn't beat Merab because it was Merab's off night. He beat Merab because he was just that much better than him. Stronger, hungrier, better stamina. Just better in every avenue, bro. No one beats Merab 4 rounds straight, bro. Let's be honest. Have we ever seen that? You know what I mean? No one does that to him. So, bro, Petr Yan put everybody on notice here. Like, let's remember why this guy, we all rated him so highly when he was going up to the title run and then got the title. We were all rating him as the best guy, and now he took out the best guy. You know what I'm saying? Before this fight, people were talking about Merab as the GOAT, bantamweight GOAT, pound for pound king. What did Petr Yan just do to him, bro? Just annihilated all of that. So yeah, well done to Petr Yan. He deserves all the victories, all the big things coming to him now. He deserves it.
Rob with the takedowns. You think he gives a shit if he misses a takedown?
So yeah, I mean it's big news now because, like we said, Merab looked undefeatable. So I mean, immediate rematch because the man was on such a tear. But we also have the little matter of Umar Nurmagomedov in the division here. So I don't think he has a fight.
Yeah, he's fighting Figueiredo.
Is he?
Yes. Yeah. He's got it. Yeah. Click on his name. I think it will show there. Up next. There. Go up. No, it's up. Top right. All the way.
Oh,
There you go.
From
25th.
Jan. Okay, that's an interesting one. Okay, well, fair play. Probably going to be a rematch there. Do you have any final words here, bro?
Nah, I'm just over the moon for Phetjeeja's performance, and I'm happy for him. Not only because I'm a fan of him, but I'm over the moon is because he beat him in a fashion. You know what I mean? A specific style beat Marab. Someone finally stopped the combat sambo. That's why I'm so impressed with it. You know what I mean? Someone finally took it to the cleaners without having to use combat sambo. You know what I mean? Like, you think about it this way, no one was able to beat Umar Nurmagomedov, and then Marab beat him. Same region, same style of fight style. And Phetjeeja, he's also Russian, but lives in Thailand or trains in Thailand predominantly of his career. That's where he fights. That's his old buzz. So he beat the unbeatable style with a different style. That's why I find it so impressive.
Okay, thanks, PG. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. All my homies love Joshua Van. And new flyweight champion, ladies and gentlemen, Joshua Van. Not the best circumstances. I'm sure everybody can agree. But yeah, shout out to the first champion from Myanmar, I believe.
In UFC,
So shout out to the Myanmar people. You got another one this time in the UFC, which is fantastic. What can you tell us here, bro? Not too much that we can talk about from the fight itself. I mean, 26 seconds.
Yeah, what can you say? And look, it was. I'm pretty sure if there was no injury in the fight, I think it would have been a dog fight. I think it would have been a very competitive fight. But Pantoja probably would have taken over as the rounds had gone on, because you could see Joshua Van's eyes lit up when he realized that Pantoja was like, "Come, we're gonna fight, bro." He got aggressive and put the pace on him immediately, and Joshua Van immediately went like this. He just started swinging because he could see, right, we're gonna fucking fight now. Because Pantoja fights like that, right? He just bulldogs people. He doesn't give you a chance to like get warmed up in any shape or form. Unfortunate ending. I mean, the arm break or dislocated shoulder. I don't know what you want to call it, because I saw at the end of the fight they were talking about, and they were saying it was dislocated shoulder. I dislocated my shoulder twice, both shoulders. AD, you dislocated your shoulders. You know what that feels like. Pantoja didn't look like a dislocated shoulder to me. That looked like a elbow snappage or dislocation in the elbow area rather than the shoulder. Didn't look like a shoulder dislocation to me. And I remember talking to Jed about this, and he was saying that they should have called a no contest. And at first I was like, yeah, but at the same time I was like, we've seen fight. I mean, Chris Weidman won the title due to a leg break from what's his name, the Spider. You know what I mean? How many times have we seen fighters throw a kick? Conor McGregor fought Dustin Poirier, cracked his leg, and then he lost the fight. You know what I mean? It's like, it can't really be a no contest because it wasn't a foul. You know what I mean? It was an accidental moment. It wasn't. So I can understand the victory he had to go to Joshua Van, but they have to run it back. And Joshua Van also said it himself. Let's run it back. It can't be this way. You know, people shouldn't throw shade on Joshua Van because he celebrated. It's not his fault that happened, bro. You know, he blocked and shoved his opponent off him to reset positions, and that's what happened. Normal move. Pantoja wanted to post, not to fall, and just reset himself and broke his arm or attacked his arm, whatever the injury was. Very unfortunate. Hopefully we can run it back. I'd love to see them run it back because it must happen. You can't not have this fight a rematch. And because it was such a nasty sort of separation of the arm, I would say Katsuo Taira, Joshua Van. Joshua Van is not injured. Fight was only 26 seconds long. Taira apparently walked through Moreno. We'll get to that fight in a minute. So let them run it. Let these guys fight early next year. Maybe February. Let them fight early. Pantoja recovers. He comes back and fight the winner. Or maybe fight Joshua Van. If they don't give Joshua Van Katsuo Taira next. Because we don't know how long Pantoja will be out for. If we hear like a 6-month or 8-month sort of injury, I say you can't put Joshua Van on ice like that. Then fight against Katsuo Taira, and then we can get Pantoja fight the winner back. But if not, Pantoja must fight Van again. But yeah, there's not much we can break down because all I could really take from that fight was if there wasn't that arm break or separation, it would have been a bit of a difficult fight for Van. I'm going to be honest with you right now. I think Van's a very good boxer. He's strong, powerful dude, but I think Pantoja would have put him through some stuff here that he was never been put through before. I like what Pantoja said before the fight. Royval didn't test the grappling. He didn't grapple with it. He didn't do one takedown. And, I think we know what Pantoja does. He tests people. So I think he would have put Van in positions that would have been different for him, new for him to learn. But yeah, well done, dude. Well done. We've got a new Burmese champion, so let's go.
Shout out to the Burmese people once again. You did mention Brandon Moreno and Tatsuro Taira. Dominant performance here by Taira, the grappling heavy attack, just too much for Brandon Moreno. So let us know what you made of this one, number one, BG, and also what did you make of the stoppage for this one?
Yeah, firstly, the Tatsuro Taira, dude, the big flyweight. I was surprised to see how much fuller and taller than he was than Moreno. Just strong, bro. Even the grappling, like he was physically more imposing than Moreno, which was surprising. But I felt that the stoppage was a little bit early. But to be honest with you, Taira looked to be the stronger fighter, like looked to be the better fighter. I don't know if you noticed it as well. Moreno didn't look the same. He was very much like leaning over his front leg, which was a bit interesting. It's almost like he was worried for the takedowns. And Tatsuro Taira just looked like he was bullying him. He was walking Moreno down for the first round. Good strong jabs in the first round. And then also took him down. And then in the second round, basically the takedown became very easy for him. And I was like, yo, Moreno looks like he's going to get bullied here. And then the stoppage, I personally felt it was a bit too early, premature, if you will, because it wasn't damaging shots that he was landing on Moreno. It was a dominant position. He got the mount and he was throwing some good stuff there. Bang, 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 bang. But it wasn't hurting Moreno. It wasn't preventing anything. And Moreno was actually getting up, by the way. He was actually reversing it and getting back up to his feet slowly. Like he was progressing. He was progressing. Like, you could see that Moreno was actually... One thing about these guys in the flyweight division, they scramble heavy. So these guys when someone's got a position like this, back control or full mount and they're landing stuff or they flatten you out, it's not like heavyweights or middleweights. It's not like that. These guys are going to scramble out of it, especially Moreno. He's gone through wars, guys. Wars with Pantoja, wars with Figueiredo. And we've seen him in this position with both those guys, and he got out of it and he reversed it and got back to his feet and got back into the bar and made it more competitive. I think the stoppage was quite early. Even Moreno, when he got back up, he was talking to the referee like, why? You really said telling me this guy actually beat me like that? Like, really? You know what I mean? Moreno didn't look dazed, he didn't look hurt, he didn't look like he was beaten. He was just standing like, yo, bruh. Like, you can see I'm not even cooked. I'm fine. Why did you stop the fight? Especially number one contenders, former champions. You don't stop fights like that. I can understand if it's like a unranked fight. But these guys are competing for fucking titles. They don't stop fights like that. These guys go until they can't go anymore. And Moreno wasn't hurt. He wasn't hurt enough for them to stop the fight, in my opinion. They should have given him more time. And he was progressing. Guy was progressing, dude. Look, I'm not going to be salty about it because I actually like both these dudes. I'm a big fan of Moreno. I'm also a big fan of Tatsuro Taira. I really like the way this kid fights. He's phenomenal at 25 years old already. He's like another Kyoji Horiguchi, but just younger. And good win. But I think we definitely kind of fucked up there, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree there, BG. But yeah, fair play to Tatsuro Taira. It's not his fault that it was arguably an early stoppage. He more than did the business on the night. So yeah, I think let's get him a title shot against Joshua Van. Why not? Any final thoughts here, bro?
Yeah, I think that Tatsuro Taira puts himself in a very good position. Like he's now in a sweet spot. It's pretty much title fight or number one contender fight only. You know what I mean? And that's the landscape of this division. It's like these guys in the top 5 are so good against each other. For Brandon Moreno, unfortunately, he's going to have to fight down. So he's probably going to get the loser between Brandon Royval and Manal Cup, in my opinion. He beat Albazi already. Maybe they give him Almabayev. You know what I mean? That could be another fight for him. Or even Kyoji Horiguchi, bro, as the come up. But I think Tatsuro Taira definitely is now. It's like an undeniable thing. It's like either title with it's only a title fight actually, in my opinion. I can't think of anything else. He's deserved it. He lost to Brandon Royval, but fought in just fight against Royval in his last fight. So I think this guy is like, he's right there. He should be getting something big next. But let's see what happens, bro. See what happens.
Fair play. Let us know your thoughts in the comments there, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go to Henry Cejudo's final fight here in the UFC. He came up against Peyton Talbott, and yeah, I mean, he's a dog, bro. He went out on his shield, Henry Cejudo. Like he wasn't afraid to get in the pocket and exchange, showing some of that Mexican blood. But yeah, Peyton Talbott, impressive performance. So what did you make of this one, BG? And yeah, how far can Peyton Talbott fly, bro? Was the question.
That's a good question. I'll get to that one. We first just talk about the fight a little bit. This was, what division was this? Bantamweight, right? Yeah. So, Henry Cejudo, well done. Like, I think it was a great fight for his retirement. I did my preview. I was saying to myself, I actually can't pick a winner here, but I think I went with Peyton, didn't I? I think he was in the picks. This is why I went with him. I said to myself, as much as Cejudo is like a high-level fighter and he's got a lot of experience in the former champion, and those are big qualities to have against these young breeds, right? Because also, we thought about the performance of Peyton against Raoni Porcello. So you're like, if Porcello can beat Talbot like that, then you know the Porcello can do the same thing and even more, right?
That's what I was thinking, bro.
Exactly. But at the same time, I was telling myself, but Peyton Talbot is athletic. He's got a lot of athleticism, and he's bigger, he's taller than Cejudo significantly, right? And they've trained together a few times, so they know each other really well. That's just why Peyton did the outside trip in his specialty. That was his move. That's why Peyton Talbot celebrated when he did it. He was like, did he got you with his own move kind of thing. But I always felt that Peyton Talbot's athleticism, his height, his leverage, his power is going to actually keep him away from a lot of the grappling that they put on him. And it actually did. And I was like, I fucking knew it. I knew that was going to be the key to his victory. Was going to be if he can be not only good enough to understand what to do to get away from the grappling, but also be athletic enough to just not let Dennis take him down and hold him there. He's going to win this fight through. I think when they're standing, he's going to piece him up, which is what he was doing. The body shots, and he was getting hurt from those body shots all the time. Deep kicks, boxing combinations to the head, then taking Henry down when he wanted to take Henry down. I was like, nah, this kid is just showcasing why. He knew how Henry fights by training with him. He knew how to beat that style. Also, he was just athletic and strong enough and younger with the energy to be able to last and do that all the time. So, yeah, big win for him. But it is a little bit of an old Henry. It's not not moving the goalpost. It's just that I can't expect Talbot to win that fight. Henry's not the same Henry he used to be. Even when he was boxing Talbot, he landed on Talbot, but Talbot just took the shots, which showcased that Henry's older. No pop in the shots anymore. Talbot's just too young and too strong at this stage. He can take the shots. That's why he won this fight. Now, to answer your question about how far he can go, I think he can go very far. I think he's got the right head in terms of how he thinks about this fight. He's not in the rush for a title shot. He's not beating in there and saying, I want my belt. Not doing any of that. Like Joshua Van, for example, they go find out Saturday night, you need to come and see me. He's very humble on the mic. He's like, nah, I'm taking my time, guys. Like, I don't have to make the biggest waves. Like, I can progressively get there. And I think he's making a smart decision to do so because it is a stacked division. It is a very stacked division right now. And I think at this stage, beating Henry Cejudo was ranked number 10 at the time, right? I would say, all right, let's give Peyton Talbot someone like a Chito Vera maybe, or even a Mario Batista. You know what I mean? Let's give him someone like that next to test him, or even a Font. You know what I'm saying? That would be a good fight for him. Then we can see his progression. But personally, I think the UFC is gonna give him someone else like a Vinicius Oliveira next. I don't think they're gonna give him someone higher than that just yet. And then the winner of Vinicius Oliveira could put him up there, or even the winner of Rob Font could put him up there. But personally, beating the number 10 guy, you should be taking that number 10 slot. It's just how it works, right? But they're not going to do that. They're going to give him someone below that first. Just watch. They're going to give someone, he's going to be okay with it. He's going to be like, yeah, give me fucking Vinicius Oliveira. Give me a Rob Font or David Martinez. It's fine. I'll fight those guys because he's not in a rush to get to the top of the food chain just yet. And also, to be quite frank, if you give him a top of the food chain fighter right now, Davison Figueiredo, you might be in trouble there. Peyton will be in trouble in a fight like that. Even my Song Yadong or Corey Sandhagen, they all beat him up right now. I think Peyton Talbot must patiently do what he's doing. I think I hate to say this, but I think he needs to kind of wait for the current guard to sort of subside a little bit before he gets there. You know what I'm trying to say? He's 20. What is he? 26 years old or something like that? 24 to 26 years old. So yeah, he must be patient. I think he needs to wait for your Marabs and them to sort of slow down before he gets there. You know what I'm saying? So another year like this for him, where he goes on a 2-3 fight win streak again next year, and then he starts breaking the top 6, the top 5. That's what we're gonna see for fighting Talbott.
Yeah, I think that's fair comment there, bro. And then to the opening bout of the main card here, and the picture on screen you'll see here, ladies and gentlemen, is something that you don't see very often. Both men's hands being raised by the ref at the end of the fight here. This one did go to a draw. PG, what are your thoughts here, bro?
I don't have any. Yeah. Jan Blachowicz now involved in 2 draws in the UFC in his career. Bogdan, I expected more from Bogdan to do so. I want him to actually win this fight because he was one of the guys to be a new contender for the division. But now you draw to a fucking 42-year-old who still fights really well. No shade on Blachowicz, but it's like I don't expect Blachowicz to fight for a title anytime soon. And Bogdan's supposed to be going on a title run. And then you lose to a guy that's not fighting for a title anytime soon. It's like, And then also, I can't really break down too much of the fight. I fell asleep off the second round, not going to lie. I watched the first round. I was like, okay, Jan Blachowicz looks good here in the first round. Nice. Second round started. Got halfway. I thought Bogdan came a little bit back in the second round. But then I was like, I felt my eyes just closing. And I was like, oh. I wake up, I see that both. Oh, I fell asleep for like maybe 5 minutes. And I woke up and I saw both of them doing this. And I was like, what? What did I miss? And when I saw it to the draw, I was like, I'm not going to rewatch it. Let's move on. I'm not going to rewatch it. No, thank you.
Yeah. The second round was the controversial round because some people scored it as a 10-8. And yeah, it was a majority draw. So one of the judges did give it 29-28 to Blachowicz because I did have him winning rounds 1 and 3.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I can see the 10-8. For me, it could have gone either way. And if it's a draw, it needs to be a draw. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, as much as we don't want that to happen. If it's a draw, it's a draw. So, yeah, unlucky. But not too much implications for the division here as a whole. So yeah, PG, any prelims that you want to highlight?
Yeah, a lot of it. They were all really. There's a lot of good fights in the prelims. Let's start with the prelims of the featured bout of the prelims with Grant Dawson and El Loco, Manuel Torres. What a fight. I picked Manuel Torres. I said Grant Dawson, if he can wrestle with him, he can actually get the job done. But he couldn't wrestle at all. He wasn't even close. He looked a little bit undersized against Torres. I believe that Grant Dawson was actually a featherweight coming up. And El Loco was basically, he was one fight away from a ranking. And then Grant Dawson, who is ranked, that was a good fight for Manuel Torres. He looked sharper, he looked stronger. His boxing was a little bit more sharp. He had better range, and also Grant Dawson he looked a little bit shell-shocked. He looked a little bit like, I think there was a moment where he shot for a takedown. Loco just tossed him. It's like threw him off like that. And you could see Grant Dawson's eyes went like this. And you could see that moment. There's a moment, you could pause it right there. You could see Grant Dawson was like, oh, shit. I actually am in cack here. This man's going to beat me. You could see it. He looked, from that moment, from that takedown defense, you could see Grant Dawson was like, I actually don't know what to do here. He was just like, throw out the jab, I'll try and push the pace. And when he did push the pace, he got countered with the best boxing ever. I'll look catch him with a nice left hook, bang, puts him down, finishes the fight, doesn't even have to ground and pound, nothing, just puts him down quick. And deserves the win. And Loco is the kind of guy that has leveled up his game. He used to be quite reckless and get caught a lot against Barramundes. Was a good example against Barramundes. And I think since that fight, Loco showcased that he could really be a little bit more poised and get the guard up high and work his way in with the jab and a low kick and not just get in there and start boxing hard and just swinging for the fences. He changed his game, and I think it made him a lot more dangerous, which is, again, a good example of why I'm calling out Ramadan Ondash so much. Loco Torres is a good example. If you have power in your hands, you don't have to swing for the fences every single time. You can set that power up. Makes you more devastating as a fighter. Loco proved that. Look, their total strikes 9. But look at Loco's other fights before. This man, he's just throwing shots. He's just wailing on you. This fight, he was a little bit more selective, and that's what got him the win. I think he deserved it. And let's get this guy a ranking, please. Let's get this guy a freaking ranking. We have Ignacio Bahamondes, number 15. He was the last guy to beat Manuel Torres. Let him run it back. Bahamondes is on a losing streak at the moment. Let him run it back. Let's see what happens there. I know Mauricio Rufi's got a fight against Rafael Paziv. That's who he's fighting next. So Don Dawson's ranked number 13, right? Beneil Dariush just lost to BSD. So for me, Bahamondes can only fight against either Bahamondes or Beneil Dariush, since Rufi's got a fight already.
Yeah, and BSD is fighting Dan Hooker as well. I believe that was announced on air at the event. All right, BG, I'll let you keep going.
Sure, let's do this. Terence McKinney, Chris Duncan. Dude, I don't know what these guys were sipping on the night, but these fights through the previews, through the prelims, why were they all fighting so hectic, so aggressive, such wild exchanges, such reckless abandon in all these fights, bro? It was mad to watch. But Terence McKinney came in there and got super aggressive. I thought he was going to win the fight. I thought that if he grappled a little bit more, he would actually win the fight, but he just went in there and got aggressive and put some heavy boxing on Chris Duncan. Rocked Chris Duncan early, right? Like Chris Duncan, if you watch his fights, and if you watch him in Ultimate Fight as well, he's a dog, dude. This guy will go in there. You can hit him as much as you want. He's going to go in there and fight you hard, dude. Take you down, beat you up, box with you. He's a tough guy to put away. And McKinney, when the way he was boxing, I didn't really enjoy it because he boxes now out of the south point such a way where when he starts throwing combinations, I want to stand and show you, but he leaves his hands like over here. You know what I mean? Like, and the head just stays like this. Throw a kick, the head just stays here. He doesn't throw the shots. You know what I mean? If I'm going to throw something, I'm going to be slightly off the line. You can't really counter me. You can counter, you can throw a shot that's probably going to hit my guard, or it's probably going to go over my head, or it's probably going to miss because I am shot. I'm hitting you, staying within my guard. Look at Piotr Jan when he fought against Marab. Piotr Jan's hands never left his face. If he jabs, the right hand stays there. If he throws the right hook, the hand stays there. He doesn't let go of his defense. And he always moves it out to the center line. McKinney just stands there and throws and throws. Chris Duncan was countering him, bro. Countering him, and Chris Duncan attacked him with a left hook. Bang! Drops him. I'm like, you see? You're overly aggressive, not defending anything. And when someone counters you, you're going to get fucking dropped. It's not a street fight. So get your guard up. You know what I'm saying? Chris Duncan deserved the win. Good submission win. Because he got the submission after he had dropped Terence McKinney. And look, it's not going to change much for sort of their where they're going, because they're both unranked at the moment. So it's not going to change much. Although for Chris Duncan, I think he's on a 3-fight win streak at the moment right now. It was 4-fight or something like that. So if he keeps doing this, dude, he's probably gonna become a recognizable name. But I don't see him as a top contender in the division. I just can't. As much as I like the guy, I think he puts on fun fights, but I don't think he's gonna be a top 5 contender. But I think if he keeps going on the win streak like this, he's gonna make a strong case for a ranking. You know, like a number 15 or number 14 or 13, somewhere around there. But McKinney needs to change the way that he fights, in my opinion. He's a devastating striker. He's got a lot of power in his hands, but I saw enough to know that if he fights like that, he's always going to get counted. Someone with good boxing durability, someone with good grappling, someone with good wrestling, is gonna beat him every single time because his defense is absolutely shite. So that's what my take is on that one. But we keep it moving. Macy Barber and Karine Silva, not a bad fight. I think Macy Barber looked good. She's always an aggressive fighter. I still have my reservations about her, only because you just never know if she's going to be successful with weight cutting, man. And she still looked big in this fight. Let's be honest. Like, she made weight, but when I watched the fight, I was like, yo, look at them thighs, bro. Them thighs look big. I was like, why does she look so massive? She looks like she could be fighting in the bantamweight division instead, but she's too short for that division. So I always have my reservations for her. It's a vintage performance from her. Powerful striking, aggressive grappling. Karine Silva, I have nothing to say about her. Whenever I watch her fight, she always underwhelms me. But I think Macy Barber, if she can really hone in on a proper dietitian, a proper weight cut, I think she can really become a good contender, dude, for this division, because she's got a fight style that's very aggressive and fun to watch. But yeah, I just think that the weight cut's always going to be a problem for her. We keep it moving. Nazim Sadikov and Faris Saham, big fight. I think Faris Saham just looked masterful here. Tarikov looked like he was fighting against a ghost. He didn't know what to do. I thought he was going to be the most sharpest striker, but Farasim was just too strong, too tall, too powerful with the boxing. Just too good, dude. His techniques was absolutely brilliant. Getting the basically KO in the second round was just at elbows. I'm not sure if you saw it, but you did the live, right? So you must have seen this one. But that double elbow at the end, oh my word, nasty shit, bro. Just nasty shit. And again, Farasim leveled up, guys. He used to be able to be easy to take him down. He used to get tired, but his body looks different. He's filling out a little bit differently, and he's looking a little bit more selective with the shots. Hard to take down, tall for the division. And again, another guy that's young and patient. So watch this dude's growth. He's steadily becoming a bit more of a name. You know what I mean? He's someone, unlike Chris Duncan, that I can see becoming a bit of a contender. Maybe not a champion. Depends on the landscape and how they grow. But I can see him becoming like a number 10, number 8, if you will. And that may just be the end of his growth. But let's see. I could be proved wrong here, but I can see him there, like middle tier of the division. Good win for him, though. Then the early prelims. So I didn't watch the Marvin Tori one and Bruno Ferreira. But big win for Ferreira. I did pick him to win that fight. So well done to him. Jalen Turner came back from his retirement or his short retirement stint, beating an old school Edson Barboza. Bit of a layup for him, but yeah, good win, sharp boxing, strong boxing. But I mean, at this stage, I think anyone can really beat Edson Barboza in the lightweight division. Not throwing shade on Jalen Turner, but the fight was carefully curated for his return, if you think about it, right? Because his retirement was because of mental health, bad gym coaching, just planned to find a good gym to train him, not sure what to do with his career, wanted to give up. Comes back, does like, what do we give the guy like this going through what he's going through? What kind of fight should we give him? It's favorable for him, right? Barboza gets the win, well done, good win. I'm happy to see him back, by the way. I think that he can still become a good name for the division. He's still relatively young and tall and become a good problem for the lightweight division. Let's see what happens there. Big win. The fight between how you say his name? Ivo Baranuski taking on Ivo Arslan. What a fight. For as long as it lasts. It's a bit of a street fight, if you will. Ivo Arslan, aggressive. Again, like Terence McKinney, just goes and walks forward. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. No defense. Gets counted. Bang. Drops him. And then when Ivo dropped Ivo Arslan just couldn't recover. That led to his finish, basically. Fight didn't last that long, but they both threw a ton of strikes, even though it went over so quickly. Double knockdown. Ivo gets up. He gets his finish. Well done. Good win. Good performance. Lit up the stage. And yeah, it was a wild fight. Mansour Abdul Malik beat Antonio Tricoli. Again, another layup for Mansour Abdul Malik. I'm going to say this now. I'm not a fan. I watched his fights now. I watched 4 of his fights that he's been winning. And all of those fights look like layups to me. Guys look undersized compared to him. Guys that they haven't been ranked. Guys that haven't been in anything. It just looks like they're laying up fights for him. And I like what the MMA Guru said. This needs to be the last layup for him, please. Just like Gutierrez, Atabe Gutierrez. He's fighting in January on your birthday, by the way, AD. He's fighting. Another fucking layup. So it's like, let's stop building up these guys. We know what they're all about. Let's give them some competition now. You know what I mean? They're going on win streaks. That's all right. We see them looking monstrous. Right? Oh, they're looking monstrous, but they're fighting cans. You know what I'm saying? So let's either make them fight each other next, or the next fight for Mansour needs to be a top contender. It can't be another no-name. It needs to be someone that can actually put him in some deep waters. Someone that can trouble him a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, for example, I love to see maybe Mansour go up against Jared Cannonier next. Just because they hold him up to give him all this hype. He's getting all these finishes. He's fighting guys that's half his size. Let's give him Jared Cannonier next. Roman Delitse even. To take him on. I'd love to see that. But I don't want to see him fight against another no-name. Please, not another no-name. But yeah, big win for him. And then the opening bout, I didn't see, unfortunately. I was trying to find it, but I couldn't actually watch it. But our guy, Myron Santos, is doing the things. Knocking out Muhammad Naimov. Yeah, big win for him. So I just want to see more of Myron Santos grow, bro. I think he's a top-level fighter. And I think he can also be a big name for featherweight division, bro. Big name. So let's go.
Give thanks, brother Gaia, and that is UFC 323, ladies and gentlemen, in the can. Give us some final thoughts and a post-fight rating, please, brother Gaia.
Yeah, final thoughts. Stacked card from top to bottom. Every fight was a banger. Besides the draw and besides the early stoppage against Brandon Moreno. Outside of that, I thoroughly enjoyed every single fight in this fight card. I think I didn't give a pre-fight rating, but post-fight rating, I'm going to give it an 8. I really enjoyed this fight card. I watched it, and I thought I was entertained from every single one. I think Peter Jan's performance really stole the headlines. I think it made everybody go, "Holy shit, this guy is a fucking unit." He's a top-level fighter. Let's go. I'm going to give it an 8.
Fair score, BG, fair score. Yeah, lots of new and lots of entertainment to be had for this one. So, yeah, I think 8 is a fair score. It was a very good card on paper as well. So, fair play to the UFC. Putting on a great event here for the fans. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you have made it this far in the video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We got new content coming. So
I watch
you
a
can watch the
podcast every day. Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan.
Let's go. What's up, chat? So today, for the rest of the week, what you can expect, we have our... Just putting up my stuff here. So we have, obviously, on Tuesday, we'll have our One Championship news segment, as always. And then Wednesday, we will be releasing a preview for the next card for the UFC, which will be Brandon Royval taking on Manal Cup. That's going to actually be a fun fight. And then we will also be releasing our preview for One Friday Fights 136, which will be on Thursday. And then we'll be back. I'll be back live again on Friday for that One Friday Fights 136 card. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the UFC is going to be available. Let me just double check that time for that one. Because we may or may not do a live, depending on the time for the Royval Cup. 5 a.m. on Sunday. Let's see. We'll let you know. We'll let you know as the week goes on, and we'll be doing a live for that one. But that will be the content for the remainder of the week. For myself and the Fighting with Friends team, much love to all of you guys. Please have a very, very good week ahead. We will catch you on the next one. We out. Cheers, everybody.